Hey friends, Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at the 5G sector. We'll start off with the ETF 5G, and despite the market being generally strong today, we saw a lot of red in the 5G area. So daily consolidation likely underway, possibly even heading into some weekly higher low situations. On the 5G ETF, we see our big red day today, and on the 4-hour time frame, if we ignore this little wick here because it's not really real, we have a high, a higher high, and a lower high in the 4-hour time frame, setting up a potential head and shoulders. I'm going to be paying special attention to the loss of 24.97. That will be 4-hour lower lows after lower highs, and setting up a 4-hour downtrend. On the daily time frame, that would have us looking pretty aggressively at filling this gap here around the 24.80 mark underneath our EMA 26 on the daily time frame. But on the weekly, we can go all the way down to 27 or 24.27 and still be in a weekly uptrend with this overall tightening range. So pretty interesting setup. A lot of potential here for this daily balance and this daily consolidation to come into play. Eyes on 24.97. On AVGO, we see a nice bounce off our EMA 12 today. Big aggressive move by the bears, and we're still caught in this daily equilibrium. It looks a little bit better on the 4-hour time frame, but not quite much better. All you can see is that overall we're just setting lower highs, lower lows, setting up this tightening range, and maybe it looks better on the hourly. Either way you look at it, this equilibrium is not the most picturesque that we've ever seen, but we're just going to be paying attention to these lows. So right now our low in the EQ is 308.03, and then our last high up here is 313.41. So just continuing to tighten the range, we're going to look for a break. If we see a break of 308.03, then we have support at 306.11, 313.60, and then not a lot on the daily time frame. So nice to see some healthy consolidation. No red flags yet for the bulls. RSI is cooling off and possibly setting up the next leg. Which direction that comes, we won't know for sure until we get there, but we're going to be watching these key levels. The break of key levels give you a lot of heads up as to what is going to happen. Who currently controls the time frame? Well, bulls just set this new high at 313.41, so they can maintain an hourly uptrend if they stay above 308.03. This is how tight that range is getting. We're in the same hourly trend that we're talking about for continuation. On the daily time frame for MRVL, much more aggressive bearish action today, increased volume. We plowed right through our EMA 12, probably didn't even slow down there very much. We can take a look at that in a second as we examine those sub time frames. Current EMA 12 is sitting at 2661. Let's just leave that there and we'll see how we interacted with that level today. Of course, those do evolve as the day progresses because it is a closed calculation or whatever the calculation happens to be at the time. So it's going to be slightly askew. However, what really matters is that bears are in complete control of this chart right now. We do have a little bit of daily support here at 25.91, which is our current area. Let's adjust that magnet. 25.92, which is tomorrow likely going to put us smack dab into this EMA 26. And based on the aggressive move that we've seen, this is likely going to be an area of a possible hourly bounce. If we lose that 25.92 level, we don't have any other daily support until down at 23.91, and there's a big ugly gap to worry about. So hopefully there's a bounce, and hopefully that bounce has legs and we can set up some new bases of support. On the 4-hour time frame, bears currently in control of the situation. No good signals of strength for the bulls yet. This is not the 4-hour. That's the hourly. 4 hours very much in the same situation. Here's our little 4-hour EQ breakout. Failure to maintain an uptrend. 4-hour downtrend. And looking at 25.92, our RSI almost oversold at 35. However, we go to the hourly time frame. RSI is at 29.79, just sub 30. The only red flag that I see for the bulls is the fact that we are getting these periods of consolidation. This is not a straight drop and not as aggressive as it looks like it is on the daily time frame. So that does allow those RSIs to cool off. However, 25.92, possible area of support. Quick flush down there tomorrow. You might be able to bottom fish that if it shows up, but I would keep a close eye on that level because if we lose it, then there's not a lot of support underneath. So possible bottom fish opportunity on MRVL against 25.92. SWKS on the daily time frame, weak but not nearly as weak as the other guys. We don't have a lot of support here, so we're going to be relying on today's low of day and hopefully opening above that level. And we also have the low of day from the big green day on November 13th, so 95.60 is that low of day, and today's low of day 97.17. No real good signals or setups. This is not really a pattern that offers us a lot of clarity or guidance. RSI is 61. 4-hour time frame is really anyone's guess at this point. We got a nice uptrend, increased wacky volatility, now a 4-hour downtrend, so bulls need to get over top of our last high at 100 psychological to change that trend. And the hourly bulls are also going to be waiting for an opportunity here. We have a little bit of indecision, a slight drop, a very, very gradual hourly uptrend, and now we're looking at an hourly downtrend against that 95.60 support. So we will adjust our levels. We'll check out how we interact with these pre-market levels. Not a lot of volume here, but 95 psychological will obviously, any psychological level can come into play. So 95.60, 95 psych on SWKS. And bulls have a lot of proving to do if they're going to get out of this down cycle. Everything seems to be pretty much lockstep looking at red consolidation days, except our friend INSG, who continues to just show consistent and slow, powerful strength. 5-minute uptrend maintained for the vast majority of the day. Anytime it gave it up, it was on very little volume with no follow through, and bulls just slowly and casually and confidently controlled the entire day today. And on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are setting up a possible flag. We don't really know what it looks like yet. We're only 1 hour into this position, but our RSI is happy at 55.86 due to the fact that we took so long and the bulls are so confident on the 5-minute time frame. Hourly time frame looking nice. We've changed that hourly trend. Hourly RSI is 66.41, and I really want to emphasize how slow this was and how controlled it was on the part of the bulls. We never got overbought today, and we had a pretty substantial move from our low, which was way over here. What is our low of the day on INSG? Come on. 472 all the way up to 491, so a nice 20-cent spread. Not too bad on a $4.80 and change stock. So right now on the daily time frame, INSG is in really good control. We bounced very nicely off that 450 support level, but now we need to struggle against this EMA 12 on the daily time frame. What I would love to see is for the bulls to come down, establish a daily higher low with the same confidence that we saw over the last 3 trading periods here, and continue that upside movement, eventually getting into this area, very, very low resistance, and having consolidated a little bit more. 5 psychological will be a big deal for us tomorrow. If we open around here and show some bull strength, we'll see what the chart looks like when we interact with that level, and we'll check in tomorrow. Our last ticker is ADI on the daily time frame. Here's another red one dropping below our EMA 12 and losing our daily higher low support. Our last low was here at 111.91, so we're now going to be looking for weekly support, and you can see that we are in a weekly equilibrium inside ADI. Our last low is down at 104.58, so we can move pretty aggressively. And as long as we stay above that level, we have the option and the capability of staying inside this weekly equilibrium. So I would not be interested in ADI until we start to see a little bit of daily strength somewhere down here. And that's it. We'll watch it, see how it develops. If bulls are going to change this around, what they're going to have to do is change this hourly trend in pretty short order. They're going to have to break over top of our last high, which was right underneath our EMA 26, so 113.21. Change that trend, carry it over into the 4-hour time frame, and see if we can't resume this overall uptrend we've seen since the 6th. That would have us looking more optimistically and looking to break out of this. Very consistent so far. Weekly equilibrium has really been in place since May. So keep a close eye on it, and we'll check in tomorrow.